Amia and her friend Zelba have been inseparable for nearly a year. They share secrets, play games, and rule over imaginary kingdoms. Amia loves to talk, and Zelba is a great listener. Amia sometimes has bad ideas, and Zelba goes along with them anyway. Amia is very real, and Zelba is not. Some parents worry about their child having playmates they can't see or hear, but imaginary companions are a normal part of psychological development for many kids. In fact, they even provide a special kind of support real friends can't. But to understand this, we first need to explore what leads certain kids to create these fictional figures. Most often, their inventors are simply looking for someone to play with. Imaginary friends are typically created by children roughly 3 to 4 years old who lack siblings of a similar age. These kids tend to be socially outgoing. They like company, so they invent more of it. And while almost all kids enjoy playing pretend, children with invisible companions are especially fond of make-believe. One study even found these kids were better storytellers, suggesting that imagining friends might help with linguistic and cognitive development. Outside a love of fantasy and socializing, experts haven't found any meaningful differences in personality, intelligence, or shyness between kids who do and do not have imaginary friends. However, the invisible characters themselves couldn't be more different. They can be animals, real or fictional, humans of all ages, shapes, and sizes, with features straight out of a fairy tale. Some come alone, others have a gaggle of imaginary friends and family. They can even be what researchers call personified objects, stuffed animals or toys brought to life by the imagination. And these manifestations vary from place to place. A 2004 study found roughly 67% of U.S. kids under 8 had invisible companions, while in Japan, personified objects were much more common. These fictional figures don't just look different, they also fill a variety of roles. Many are playmates and confidants, but others are scapegoats, errand buddies, or babies in need of care. This wide range is why researchers typically call them invisible or imaginary companions, since they're not always friends. In fact, researchers have even reported children who fight with their imaginary companion or are actively afraid of them. These situations can concern parents. But not only are they totally normal, they highlight the special power of imaginary companions. Each of these characters is designed to fulfill their creator's needs or wants. By creating a scary invisible companion, a child might be experimenting with feeling fear and how to conquer it. Negotiating imaginary disagreements lets kids practice dealing with conflict without real-world consequences, and resolving these arguments can help them explore empathy and caregiving. In these ways and more, invisible companions give developing children the agency to explore emotions and social interactions on their terms. And since research consistently shows children know these characters are imaginary, the kids are always in control, even when it doesn't look like it. Some invisible companions stick around through their creator's teenage and adult years. But generally, as kids start making friends in school around age 5 or 6, they talk about their imaginary companions less and less often. That said, the time they spent with these fictional figures has lifelong benefits. Research suggests pretend play strengthens a child's theory of mind. This is our ability to understand, imagine, and predict other people's mental states, a skill that can help kids develop empathy and build relationships. And while we might stop speaking to our invisible companions, we never stop talking to ourselves. When you rehearse a difficult conversation in the shower or talk through your problems to a pet, you're using the same skills you learned from your imaginary companions, talking through your inner monologue to problem solve and regulate your mood. So the next time you see a kid chattering to thin air, know that you're watching the beginning of a lifelong conversation.